I'm a rapper with a baby. Oh, with a baby. I got a little bitty motherfucking baby. Don't say maybe. We got some babies. We got 'em 'cause we did it with some ladies. I rap with my baby in the coffee shop. I rap with my baby in the parking lot. I'm rapping with my baby in the cocaine den. I rap all day with my baby, then I do it again. Don't say maybe, we got some babies. We got it 'cause we did it with some ladies. Yeah.
I think you're freaky and I like you a lot. I think you're freaky and I like you a lot.
Alright, what's up guys? My producer's meowing at me. What do you want? What? You don't want me to talk to anyone who's not you. Is that it? You're jealous. You are jealous? You're not even in heat. You about to be? Oh, Jesus Christ, she scratches her face like hardcore. She's like right on her nose, just like, wah! Woo! That's rough, cat. Don't rub that cord. Stop that. Why do you do that? You are so stupid. God damn it, you're stupid. Stop. There's zeros and ones going in and out of that, you idiot. Stop doing it. Go get your fucking tunas. Jesus Christ. Alright, so, I figured out something interesting lately. A six-sided die, much in the same way that your deck of cards is based on the tarot, your six-sided die is also quite esoteric in nature. It has 6 sides. However, as you know, whatever number is up, the number on the opposite side equals 7 in addition to the number that's up. So here's 1, its opposite is 6. Here's 2, its opposite is 5. 4, its opposite is 3. So, according to the lore, God created the world in 6 days and he rested on 7. So, the six-sided die has 6 sides and it rests on 7 every time. So I thought that was pretty damn interesting. So I bought these precision craps dice because I like dice, I like game stuff, you know. So anyway, I wanted to talk to, or at least talk about, what I call RPNs, red-pilled normies. These are people who believe that the solution to the problems of our world are political, who identify as conservative, and I think I would have to say that to qualify as an RPN, you would have to, at least on some level, believe that the solution to the problems of our world are political. That is to say that we should work with the existing institutions in order to give power to someone to exert our will on the world. Now, basically what this amounts to is letting a vampire into your house. You're giving permission to be ruled by someone who seeks a position of rulership. You're giving permission to have your life controlled. All right? The degree to which the person you vote for chooses to control your life is up to them. All right? And as we should all be well reminded by the Sniffy Joe administration, we should be well reminded that politicians do not keep their campaign promises. You know, the big man did, to the extent to which he was able, I believe. That seems to me to be the case. You know, but even he was far from perfect. Far from perfect. And that is, I would say, mostly because our true president, our true and proper president, the man who technically won the election. Yeah, fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you. Yeah, you. Fuck you. The man who won the election, technically and truly, is, in my opinion, an RPN. He's a red-pilled normie. Alright, now, so what is a red-pilled normie? A red-pilled normie is someone who has come to the realization, in one way or another, that our institutions are deeply flawed. Deeply flawed, and have been for a long time. Alright, now you get red-pilled people in all different types of categories. The way I encountered, well, my first red pill, I would say, would have to do with the, I don't know, how should we put it, the aggressive nature of, we'll say, academic feminism. Aggressive nature of academic feminism. And I encountered it by being involved in the Gamergate movement. Now, the way I got involved in the Gamergate movement was I started watching a gentleman who called himself Sargon of Akkad, Monsieur Carl Benjamin, all right, who I feel is a very decent man, but again, a red-pilled normie, which is fine. You know, I'm not saying it's wrong to be a red-pilled normie. I get it. I think we need you people. If there are any red-pilled normies watching this, listen, I'm with you. I love you. Let's win this. For fuck's sake, let's win this. But we're not going to win it by voting, all right? I mean, we might win it in part. We might. I need to work on my Trump impression. We might win it in part by getting the big man back in office. Because let's face it, I'm not saying that that good things can't happen in politics. They absolutely can. And you should care what happens in politics. Yes, you should. You should care what the people who think they own you are doing. You should... losing my voice. I'm losing my voice. You should care what the people who think they own you are doing. Yeah. People who think they are entitled to... what percentage is 2 out of 12? 2 months of your annual labor. People who think they're entitled to the profits of 2 months of your annual labor, you should know what they're doing, all right? And I would argue that if you watch them, you will get a profound and fulsome education in the nature and the tactics of evil. Yeah. That's why I read you news stories, all right? Also because the news stories I read to you, I write, and I think I do a good job, and I think that the way I write them is valuable. Why wouldn't I? I mean, yeah, that sounds egotistical, but why would I? Yeah, it'd be idiotic for me to write them the way that I do, and then not think that I do it the way it should be done. So of course I want to read to you what I think is true. I will say that, you know, by the time I read you these news stories, at the end of these shows, the story itself is going to be a couple weeks old, because first I have to pitch, because I'm not a journalist. I report on journalism. So I have to pitch a story to my editor, who I have never even seen, and that can take up to 4 days, and then I have a few days to write the story. I have to write a bunch of fucking gardening and home renovation articles in between then. And then by the time I make these videos, it's been like a week and a half. However, I don't think it's the timeliness of a news story that makes it important. I think it's the take on it. It's how the events show you what's going on behind the scenes. And the more you watch current events, the more you watch the people who think they own us, the more you understand their tactics. All right? Now, I've explained to you at length, not on any videos that are currently on ScrewTube, because I had a temper tantrum and deleted all of my material, But for those of you who remember, I've explained to you why I am convinced that people who worship evil are in positions of power behind the people that we traditionally consider it's basically Satanists, all right? This is why I want to talk to you RPNs, all right? You Christian conservatives, all right? I've said this 100 times. I love Christianity. I'm not one. I love conservatives. I don't think I really am one either. But I love you guys. We need a full spectrum of types of thinkers. I wonder why Lemon's not meowing at me. Hey, stupid! We need a full spectrum, and I'm not happy that I chose that phrase. We need a full spectrum of thinkers, all right? This is why we have a left brain and a right brain, because you have to think in left brain ways sometimes, and you have to think in right brain ways sometimes, and you have to be able to think in both ways at the same time sometimes. And if you can't do that, you're a slave. All right? So, Jordan Peterson puts it very well. He's another red-pilled normie, in my opinion, and possibly one of the greatest, if not the greatest, RPN out there. But there's also you know what? Oh, did you hear what Glenn Beck did? Glenn Beck is he's definitely an RPN. I get bored of him because he really, 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 really believes there's a political solution to the problems of the world. And I'm not saying that well, and I'm going to keep backpedaling. Glenn Beck personally went to Afghanistan, spent a lot of money trying to help get Americans out of there. God bless you, Glenn Beck. I'm getting choked up thinking about it. What an amazing thing to do. Glenn Beck has a lot of money. He could just shut up, stop doing shows, and relax, and be fine for the rest of his life. He should get in shape. He should try to get healthy. I wish he would. I wish everybody would. I wish I would. But praise be to Glenn Beck, and God bless him. May the forces of goodness smile on his head and his family. That is wonderful. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful... He personally went over there. Did I say that? He personally went over there and spent a bunch of fucking moonbucks to help get Americans who are stranded over there. Jen Psaki. Yeah, that's right, you bitch. Stranded over there. Out. Alright, so that's why. That's why I love my RPNs. Because when they're at their best, they do shit like that. They do shit like that. Alright? And when I think of red-pilled normies who I admire, I think of Glenn Beck. I think of Jordan Peterson. Lately, I think of Ashley Babbitt. I think of her family. I think about the conservatives who traditionally have just, I don't want to be mean to you, but blindly trusted the police. Just blindly trusted the police. I think of the conservatives, especially those who were at the upside down celebration on the fifth day plus one of the event. Fuck it, January the 6th. God damn it. Why am I afraid? It's not like I make any fucking money on this channel. I think about cops who, watching that event and being at that event, although most of them are in prison just for being there. Journalists who were there are in prison just because they saw what actually happened, and they could destroy the federal government's narrative. imprisoned for knowing the truth. This is America, all right? I think of conservatives who have seen firsthand, particularly on January the 6th, but over the course of the last year and a half with the leftist riots, the media-sanctioned leftist riots, conservatives who have seen the cops betray the people, seen the cops betray decency over and over and over because they were told to, see the cops arrest people who don't deserve to be arrested because they were told to. And especially right now in Australia and in Canada, seeing police manhandle, beat children, women, old ladies, old men over coronavirus restrictions. RPNs who are paying attention are realizing that a cop is a person who will hurt you if he's told to. All right? Yes, there is a sort of pacifying effect of having a police force in a town. People are, mostly because people think that the police are something that they're not. Because they think that the science fiction that they see on programs like CSI is reality. They think if someone is murdered, then a billion-dollar forensic agency will leap into action and use all of its powers and all of its skills to solve one. No, that's not reality, guys. Listen, they do want to arrest people and drag you into the system. And cops are very stupid, so oftentimes they do think that this is the right thing. But a police officer is someone who will kidnap you and throw you in a cage if he's told to do it. All right? It doesn't matter if he knows that you're not guilty. It doesn't matter if the crime, the law, the rule that he's enforcing is immoral, satanic, unconstitutional. It doesn't matter. Because a police officer believes that some people have a right to rule. That's why they're so fucking arrogant. Because they believe they are safe from each other. They're not. They're not, of course. I mean, there is a degree. Anyway. So, red-pilled normies. Red-pilled normies. Guys, my guys. I am you. I was you. And I've learned so much from people like you. Most importantly about history. About how things like communism and socialism and the corrupted form of the mothering instinct has been intertwined with control systems all throughout history. I'm not saying there isn't a corrupted form of the fathering instinct. There certainly is, but I don't have to convince you of it. Because men are toxic. But it's been the education in history that I've gotten from listening to RPNs that has been so valuable, and that in addition to the coverage of current events over the last 6 or 7 years, been so valuable. That plus an education in history, real history, not public high school history. My voice isn't having a good time. So, my dudes, my darlings, my red-pilled normies, and those of you who are more, I don't know. This channel has a heavily woo history, and that brings in a lot of left-leaning types, apolitical, sort of right brain leaning type people. Right brain? Yeah. Which is fine. But, people get turned off when they hear types of thinking that they're not able to produce. All right? So if you hear me talk about, if you hear me conjugate sentences that are right-brained and you're left-brained, you're going to get a pill. And if you hear me conjugate sentences that are left-brained and you're right-brained, you're going to get meh. We'll grow up, okay? You need to think in both ways. You need to connect your left and right brain. And in my last video, I gave you some really normie level methods that you can use to do that. Really easy normie level exercises you can do at any time, at any place, to connect your left and right brain. All right, it was bilateral stimulation, and I forget what the eyeball trick is called, but they both work. They both are like a grease cutter for anxiety, and you should be doing them. All right, and I would say to you, I would suggest that if you're a left brain person, you're being exposed to right brain information, and if you're a right brain person being exposed to left brain information, you should do those exercises immediately. Immediately. All right? Your first instinct is going to go, I don't like this information, and I don't like this person saying it. Start doing the techniques right away. Get your left brain to start talking to your right brain, and your right brain to start talking to your left brain. Because you need to think holistically. Because if you can't, here's something conservatives understand. If you don't have a weapon, you're a slave. If you're unarmed, you're a slave. Well, if you're thinking only in left brain or right brain terms, you're a slave. It works the same way. All right? For different reasons. For different but connected reasons. All right? There are layers to this shit, guys. You can't just live on one layer of analysis and expect to come up with a worldview that's worth a damn. Okay, it just doesn't work. You can work out from there, which is what I've been doing, which is why I'm speaking to my RPNs right now, because I love you guys, and I want you to keep fighting for truth and justice and the American way. I want you to actually fight for truth and justice and the American way, for those of you who are just spectating. And in order to do that, in order to be actually on the side of right, it doesn't take more than truth seeking, truth sharing, and prayer. All right? If you do those things, you're in the ranks. All right? You're with us. You're marching with us. You don't have to go out. You don't have to go out and cold-cock Antifa, though I recommend it, because they deserve it. They do. They're bad people, and they're retarded, literally. Speaking of retarded, if you think only in terms of one side of the brain or the other, you're retarded. Okay, you can get out of it, but you're retarded. Okay, you need to be able to think on both sides of the brain. So, let's see how much time. I've got a few minutes left on this tape. Let's roll a dice, see what happens. Woo! 7. Boop, 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 boop. So last time I talked about the necessity of growing a soul, and my darling RPNs, if you're listening, you're not going to like this, because chances are you're a Christian and you think you're born with a soul. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but that's not true. All right? It's not true. You have an immortal aspect to you, but if you are not, I call it grow a soul. The top assholes call it initiation. Okay? And the thing about the top assholes is they know what's really going on. All right? They've aligned themselves with evil, and that's fucking stupid. But they know how the universe works. They know how your brain works. Oh my God, she's gonna get it. She's gonna get it. She's gonna get it. She's gonna shake it. Did it? She didn't get it. The tiny tiger you are not. Lemon. My producer's name is Lemon. And yes, she's a cat. What was I saying? The top assholes. The cult of the black sun. The philosophers of fire. They know how the human brain works. They know how your brain works. They know how the universe is organized. They believe or hope that they can overturn the proper order of the universe. This is why everything they produce is literally upside down. Oh, that reminds me of, I saw the Wonder Woman movie that came out, the one about World War I. It is wonderful. Woo! So good. It was so good. And it, and if most Christians weren't kind of blockheaded, they would be able to realize that it's saying their truth. It's saying it's with them. But wow, all the stuff that we've learned about what's wrong about the history that we're taught about World War II, it's there. A Project Paperclip is there. Hellboy too, interestingly enough, is part of that. Surprisingly. But okay, I'm gonna restart my camera by pressing this button a couple of times. I've done it! Restart. Stop it, piece of garbage. Restart my fucking timer. Anyway, what was I saying? Alright, I was talking about Wonder Woman. It's a great movie. Maybe I'll talk about it another time. What time is it? 6:30. Yeah, so I talked to you about how to grow a soul. No, I didn't. I talked about the necessity of growing a soul. Alright? But I didn't talk about how. Well, there are at least two ways I'm aware of. One way is we would tend to think is rather Eastern, but it's global. It's a global esoteric tradition. And it could be basically described as Tantra. All right? So in Tantra, what you do is you fuck and you don't come. Basically, the heart of this, see, it's based on the idea that you have a toroid field around your base chakra. All right, around the spot between your asshole and your business. You have a toroidal field, and this toroidal field, I'm gonna talk out of my ass a little bit. I'm being a little bit presumptuous here, because I haven't heard it explained this way. But I think that this will, whether it's accurate to a specific tradition or not, is unlikely. But I think it describes generally what the collective. I hate loud engines so much. I hate them. I want to tie a rope around that tree across the street and clothesline some motorcycle riders. I know, Kitty, but it would be evil. She doesn't understand that. What was I saying? A toroidal field, you can think of it as like a donut that's turning itself inside out. sort of rolling. You know, imagine there's a donut right here, and my fingers sort of represent the way that it rolls outward. Kind of like a prolapsing anus, but going up. So this moves life energy up your shit. All right? This is why the point of meditation is about gathering. See, there's a type of oil. All right? Have you ever seen a Jesus lamp? All right? There's an esoteric tradition behind those things. The way oil moves up and down them. All right? They're trying to tell you something. Jesus, told the parable of the wedding guests and who didn't have enough oil in their lamps. That's what he's talking about, guys. He's talking about this oil, which is meant to be infused with life essence energy in your dick and business. All right, in that area. So the wrong thing to do, and the idea of the wrong thing to do is to spill your seed. All right, the Bible tells you not to spill your seed. We have been told why that is. We've been told wrong reasons for why that is. Not entirely wrong reasons, but not true reasons. We don't need to go into that right now. So it's in Christianity. See, it's hidden in Christianity. It's hidden, of course, it's in Tantra. It's not hidden in that. There are other traditions that are meant to stimulate the prostate. I don't know what women do. I don't know how women are supposed to cultivate this energy. I haven't encountered that information, and I don't know what to tell you, ladies. I'm sorry. I wish I did. But if you're interested, this should be enough to encourage you to go find out. And I could recommend a good channel for you. The YouTube channel of a woman named Hira Hosen. It's spelled Hirasoen, I believe. I'm not sure if I spelled that right. I'm gonna see. Hira Hosen? Yeah, I think I spelled that right. Hirahosen. I want to talk to you about why she's great. I accidentally spelled it Hoser, but the recommendation got it right. Good job. Good job, YouTube recommendation. See? Sometimes you're not garbage. Sometimes they come out at night. Mostly, Ripley. Mostly, they're garbage. Ripley, mostly garbage. Ripley. So, it's in the Bible. It's in tantric traditions. There's a lot of Eastern traditions where they do different exercises, stuff you don't want to do, like attaching weights to your nuts and swinging it back and forth. The purpose of this is to stimulate the prostate. You could say that all they're really doing is triggering testosterone production, and that could be the case. And I would think that's true if I hadn't experienced the energetic reality of what meditation can do for you myself. All right. So if you don't believe in the spooky part of it, I don't blame you. And I can't prove to you that the spooky part of it is true. I can describe the experiences I've had, which are spooky, and you would be the most reasonable thing you could do is to assume that I'm hallucinating. That would be the most reasonable thing you could do. But to be truly reasonable, you would have to experiment with it, in which case you might have your own encounter with that which is spooky, in which case you might change your mind, like I did. All right? About that. So by doing this, by not spilling the cup of Hermes, by not jizzing on the floor, by not spilling your seed, by not wasting your vital energy. So you could think of reproduction as like a failsafe. So if you fail to evolve yourself and become a fulsome being, then you have your DNA can jump ship, all right, and have another chance. And that's really what reproduction is about. It's you failed to manifest a soul, so you need to knock somebody up so that something like you, so that a person like you has a shot at it. A shot at it. So the tantric method, which I'll use as a catch-all for the "Don't Spill the Cup of Hermes" school of belief, which is global and is hidden. It's hidden in every religion that doesn't directly teach it. All right, and just look at the teachings of Jesus to see why. When Jesus says, "If thine eye be single, then your body is full of light," he's talking about meditation. He's talking about meeting the divine inside the mind, because your body is designed to commune with the divine, and you are capable of communing with any type of spooky being. You can commune with assholes. You can commune with sweethearts. You can commune with the Creator itself. You can commune with Mother Earth, Mother Sun, Father Sky. And if you visit Hira Hosen's website, you might learn that that's true. The meditations that she teaches have shown me that you can actually commune with beings like Mother Earth, Father Sky. You can send them an email and get a response. All right, because I'm not talking about actual email. I'm saying you can communicate with them and get an actual response. And if that doesn't show you the reality of the invisible world, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, just do your best. And if you do, you know what? Let me visit her site, her page, her channel. She's a pretty lady. All right. If you like pretty ladies, then you won't be disappointed. Let's see if I can find this one meditation where she teaches you to. It's really marvelous. It's really marvelous. She instructs you on a way to send your love into the heart of Mother Earth and then get a response in kind. Then send your love to Father Sky, get a response in kind. Then, in a similar way, express love for their creation, which is you. And then, when Mother Earth responds and Father Sky responds, their responses meet inside of you, and it is marvelous. It's marvelous. And if that doesn't show you, if that doesn't give you a glimpse, there's so much. If that doesn't give you a glimpse of what's really going on in the universe, if that doesn't give you a better idea of what's really going on in the universe, then I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with you, or you didn't do it right. Seriously. But there's no way. I find it very difficult to believe that a human being can exist and not have the equipment to be able to do this. If it's possible for a human being to come into existence and not have the equipment to do this kind of thing, then That sucks. I don't believe that. But you have to want to. Fuck. I can't find anyway. Shit. Let me see. Playlists. Da 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 da. Conversations. Here we go. Here is guided meditations. Let's see. Unity breath, activation of life. Got it. I remember which. If I could. Let's see. Anyway, go to her. Aha! No. Fuck. Wait, whatever it is, it should be watched. Here we go. Unity breath. Ascension.
So when we speak about Mother Earth and fire...
Yeah, good. It's the first one on the list. It's called Unity Breath Meditation. Only takes about 20 minutes. And, yep, that's the one. A Unity Breath Meditation. Good. So, this will, man, you know, I mean, I can't even say to a Christian what I'm about to say. It would be something like, you know, you've spent years praying, and once in a while, something you beg for comes true. That is, you know, I don't want to insult you guys, but that is such a paltry version of the type of communion we are capable of engaging in with with our cosmic parents. It's really, really sad. If all you've ever done, if you think that the closest you can get to communing with the divine is talking to yourself in the dark, I mean, it's not your fault, you know. We've been deeply lied to about the nature of everything. Why? Because the people who believe they own you as a part of their religion, they want to create a power differential. And the best way to do that is to create a knowledge differential. All right? And that's why most Christians are the way they are. Most Christians are just people who want to believe that they're not going to die. All right? That's what most Christians are. That's probably what most religious people are. And that sucks. That sucks. Sucks. And just you know, the thing that bothers me most about Christianity is there's nothing to it. You know, there's nothing to it. There's no actual spiritualism. I mean, there is, but it's hidden. It's encoded. You know, perform the third eye. You know, the kingdom of God is inside you. What the hell do you think that means? What do you think that means? It means you're made of the same stuff the Creator is made of. And there's a direct connection to it. I say it because I don't want to misgender it. Right? Because I don't know what's going on as far as that's concerned. So we've covered what I say I'm referring to as the tantric method, which has to do with your taint and not spilling your jizz. And again, ladies, I don't know what it means for you. Fuck, we're not gonna get to story time. Shit. Do we have time? Do we have time for story time? No, we don't have time for story time. Fuck. Damn it. I blame you. Do you understand that? All right, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, there's also the Kabbalistic method of growing a soul, which is different, and frankly, I think it works because I've tried it and I've felt it working. I don't know if I've done it enough. I mean, probably not. But it's interesting and it's really beautiful because it depends on the divine act of giving thanks. The divine act of giving thanks. And there are spiritual teachings all over the world which have taught that gratitude, it's all about gratitude, motherfucker. It's all about the gratitude, baby. Shit, I gotta get some water. I'm gonna pause this. Alright, I think I'm back. I hope. Oh, that's good water. Good, clean water. 5 charcoal filters, 0 water. Buy it, use it. Don't drink fluoride, for fuck's sake. Don't drink fucking fluoride, for God's sake. Right? You don't have to be a woo-woo person to know that fluoride is rat poison. Okay, what was I saying? The Kabbalah, or as I like to call it, the blah blah blah. I just don't like the sound of that word. Kabbalah. I don't like the way the Kabbalah. Kabbalah. How do they say it? They say it in a stupid way. So I call it the blah blah blah. So the Kabbalah holds that that the Creator is a thing known as the upper force. And we can never know the upper force, but we can interact with the upper force. And that the way we should be doing that is to try to achieve Aruba. Not Aruba. That's an island vacation destination. We should be trying to achieve what they call equivalence of forms with the Creator. All right? Sounds a lot like what Christians think they're up to. Again, I'm sorry, guys. I know you're not gonna like me you're not gonna like hearing me say shit like that, but I'm not gonna lie to you. All right? Because it's unchristian, and I don't lie. I may be wrong, but I will never intentionally lie to you. So, they try to achieve equivalence of forms with the Creator through gratitude. Now, the way to do this is the story that I've actually thought of this story on my own as I was listening to their lectures, and then they said it, because it's the most beautiful analogy you could think of. Suppose you're invited to dinner by a dear friend. Your friend, who loves you, wants to make a wonderful meal for you. And he does. And he invites you over to enjoy it. So, what does your friend want? Your friend wants to give you pleasure by offering you a beautiful meal. Okay? So, he wants something. He wants you to experience pleasure as you eat the food that he's made for you. This is what the Creator is like. This is what the upper force is like in blah blah blah. At one point, the instructor I was listening to, he described the Creator as like an old lady, like an old shriveled up grandma who hides in the kitchen and doesn't come out on Thanksgiving Day, but just sort of peeks out and wants to see people enjoying the meal she created. Thinking of the divine force behind creation as something like that it's funny and sweet, and no, I don't think that the Creator is an old woman hiding. but it's a nice image to consider. So, the friend who accepts the meal, he may say, "No, I don't want to put you out. I don't want to impose. So I will eat less than I could, or I won't come at all because you are my friend. We are old friends, and I love you, and I don't want to make you do work for me." He doesn't understand. The friend who's cooking the meal wants to give his friend pleasure. He wants to give him the experience of a beautiful meal. That's what he wants. That's where his heart is. So, for the friend on the receiving end of this exchange, the most loving thing he could do, the most friendly thing he could do, is accept the invitation, bring an appetite, and experience the meal with thanks and with gratitude and really try to appreciate the work that went into it. Try to eat the meal in the way that the chef intends it to be eaten, because sometimes a chef wants you to eat one thing and then they eat another specific thing because of the way flavors mix and match. All right. Well, this is what God is like according to the Kabbalah. God wants you to experience life in certain ways. He wants you to have, the sides and the entree that you like best. But he also wants you to enjoy what you like best in a certain way. He also knows that, this entree is best for you, or this entree is best for you because of your biology. And he also knows what goes best with those main dishes, what side dishes go best with them, what wine goes best with them, what desserts are best, and which most closely suit your specific tastes. Okay? So for this reason, the Creator has some very specific advice about how to enjoy the meal. But mostly, he wants you to... Now, imagine a Thanksgiving meal. So he wants you to enjoy your meal to the greatest extent possible. But he doesn't want you stealing off of other people's plates. All right? And say someone needs a specific side that goes with their dish more than you need it. So he doesn't want you to infringe on their ability to get the amount of the side that I'm expanding needlessly. My point was, how to grow a soul. So, what the friend on the receiving end of the dinner invitation should do is to say yes to the invitation. Go to the dinner, not for himself, but to do it to give his friend the pleasure that his friend wants. Enjoy the meal so that his friend can have the pleasure that he wants. This is how we should experience all the wonders of life. Mindfully enjoying them with the intention that we give the Creator the pleasure that it wants. Now, when you do this, you achieve equivalence of forms. I think that in the blah blah blah, they have a whole traditional structure of group work, and I don't know what goes on with that, and frankly I find it a little bit creepy. Because I've never found anything spooky about Kabbalah. And I know that there are people doing Kabbalah in spooky ways, and I don't really trust people who tell me I have to do things in groups. There's religious traditions that say I have to do things in groups. Fuck, my battery's almost dead. Damn it! Alright, we're just gonna... But according to them, this is how we grow a soul. By achieving equivalence of forms with the Creator. Fuck, I can't believe I'm about to run out. I need new batteries. And this is a beautiful way to do it. Finally, another way that I believe it can be done is by doing Jesse Lee Peterson's silent meditation. And that's really all I need to say about that. Just look it up on the internet. Just Google it, Jesse Peterson's silent meditation. It's easy. And Jesse Lee Peterson is a delightful man. He's funny and simple and unbelievably wise. I believe he's been given wisdom that from a divine force that he doesn't understand, and he gets the credit for being able to absorb that information, because not everybody can. So there's that. So there's Tantra, there's not spilling the cup of Hermes, also known as fasting. Yes, in reality, fasting does not have anything to do with food. You can fast for health reasons, that's real. But in a spiritual context, fasting means not spilling, it means not coming or going. So there's that. There's the tantric method, which, as I said, I'm using as a blanket term for a global collection of traditions, all of which are about not jizzing in your pants. All right, don't jizz in your pants. More than you can help it. More than you can help it. The other is the Kabbalistic method of equivalence of forms, which is beautiful, and you should do it all the time anyway. At least once a day, you should engage in something that you love, going into it knowing that you're giving the Creator pleasure, and do it for that reason. Just try it. And look up Jesse Lee Peterson's Silent Prayer. I haven't had this corroborated as a way of growing a soul, but in my experience, it's energetically similar to these other activities. And it's also Christian friendly, I feel, because Jesse Lee Peterson is a Christian, and so if you're a real RPN, and you want to be into Jesus stuff, that's great. Jesus stuff is great. Jesus is the connection between the right and left sides of the mind, and a real person. All right, and a real being who really loves you. He's all that stuff at the same time. That's part of the reason why God always comes out as a 3-part being. It's because it manifests in so many different ways, and it's everything and everywhere, and it has different. Fuck that. Anyway, so if you don't do anything else, do Jesse Lee Peterson's Silent Prayer. You're not going to regret it. If you really do it and actually try, you're not going to regret it. I think you can achieve it in 5 minutes, maybe. But if you're not doing this stuff, then you're uninitiated. You're basically just an animal, and the top assholes can rightly murder you because you're not really alive.